Alright, thought I'd do something a little different for you today. As most of you know, typically on Fridays I go to the MBTA station here in Leominster, Mass. And record trains at a specific time. Anyway, inspired by the walking videos of Jimster 586, I decided I'm going to record a video of me walking from here, which is roughly where I live, to the MBTA station. It's not terribly long. Here we are on Summer Street. The only reason I'm giving that out is, you can find this stuff out on Google anyway. No need to hide it. In fact, there's the house I live in. And we're starting across the street, so we don't have to bother with traffic, even if it's only a car or two. Anyway, if you hear a little sloshing around, I got some water, and away we go. Now I'm using the full brick camcorder because the image stabilization's a little better, and I am going just a little bit slower than usual, because if I go fast, then the image will get much more jittery. So here we are, getting ready to record some trains. And the first point of interest that we come to here is Carter Park. Cut through here to cut a small amount of distance, more for safety than anything. Anyway, this park is historic because a little further up, I think further up. Anyway, this park is where troops actually prepared themselves for the Civil War. Can't quite remember if it was part of the Revolutionary one as well. I'm not sure. I'm sure some Lemonstrite could enlighten me on that. Anyway, we got all sorts of cannons and war stuff. A gazebo over there. And over here, I've done a video on this before. It was a little less than complete, but a memorial for most of the major wars, starting with World War II. We'll get one more look at it as we go by. So not going anywhere near as fast as I normally do. And over there is St. Leo's Church. There's a little bit of history there too, but it's more where it used to be. And I've done a video in here testing night vision goggles. It was more of a toy than an actual set of night vision goggles. Tested it here in this cemetery at night. Rumor mill has it that this cemetery is haunted. And typically some soldiers, I think, from colonial times tend to roam around. That's the rumor. This also used to be where I'm at right now, where the original downtown Leominster used to be. Because if we go to Main Street, over there, and look directly towards current downtown, you can see that the streets line up. And because I'm holding this in my left hand and it's a right-handed camcorder, sometimes the picture might go a little crooked. It's because I'm not realizing that the angle is drifting a little bit. So anyway, here we come to the other end of Carter Park. Now we might be able to cross the street almost right away. There is no crosswalk here, so we have to wait for everybody to get across. They're going to make it. Main Street is about to get the green light, which is the street we are now going to meet on right here. Anyway, here we are, Main Street. And that is where we're going. Oh, you can't really see it, but if you stood here and looked that way, you can't see it because of the foliage. But Main Street would appear straight from here. Alright, can I get across? Because it's actually safer to be on the other side now. Alright, I kind of need to get across. Again, we have to wait for timing. Alright, yeah, it looks okay. Crown fried chicken. Right there. Pretty good chicken. That obviously used to be a KFC, just by the look of the place. There you go. Crown fried chicken. And there's the building. Kind of losing a little time showing stuff, but kind of important. Over there's Piper Electrical. The only reason I'm bringing that up is that building was actually a church. It did not last very long. Building sat vacant for a while, and then Piper Electrical bought the place, and there you go. Yeah, I'm not exactly making the best time right now. Yeah, we should be fine. Here's Grove Street Cemetery. And a crosswalk. And I'm holding somebody up. So go a little faster, give them a thank you wave, and continue on. Okay, now we're about to finish the uphill section, which really isn't much. And down that way and a left-right chicane is Doyle Field, opened in 1931. Initially, it was a basic high school football field with a grass bowl in which you sat on the hill. At some point, bleachers were added. Might have actually been part of it to begin with. Then more recently, like several years ago, they ripped all that down, dug up the hill, made a new set of bleachers within the hill. So the hill's the actual structure. New press boxes and all that. There's a video of that I've posted. Also sporting the new field. And we got onlookers. All right. Okay, this is a very long cemetery, if you haven't noticed already. It has quite a span, but the length from front to back is pretty short. All right, now we are approaching, actually at this fire hydrant that's coming up, we're approaching the quote-unquote downhill section. And they're not big hills. this area of the city is known as the Plains, because it is relatively flat. Yeah, we got some hills here and there, but they're not much of anything. In fact, the pitch is so minuscule that that stone fence actually follows the grade. It's not level. And here's an example of some slight variation in terrain. And in case I failed to mention, this is Main Street. Actually, I think I did mention that. Anyway, if we stop right here and zoom on in, yeah, those are the lights to the football field. This video is definitely eating into the time it takes to get there. I actually left about 3 minutes early. The opening section took a couple minutes. Showing you some stuff took a couple minutes. Now actually a little slow. Although really not that bad. Although during the very hot days of summer, I tend to take it about this pace, which to me is pretty slow. And I also have a landmark to judge how well I'm timing this. I call it the boathouse. There's one of these houses, not very close to it now. One of these actually has a boat in the driveway. And when we cross the boat, I look at my watch. If it's 6:18 p.m. or earlier, we're doing good. Any later, it can be an issue. Doesn't necessarily mean it will be. All right, this is the boathouse. Well, looks like, oh, there it is. There's the boat. And it's 6:17. We're doing all right. And it's still the cemetery. Not very deep, but quite long. Built in 1900, a little memorial church, Hawes Memorial Chapel, built in 1900. Here we're coming up to Priest Street, and that brings us back to the St. Leo story that I was telling you. Originally, St. Leo's was not on this street, but next one over. In fact, that white building right there used to be the original St. Leo's Church. Then another church took over when St. Leo's moved to where they are now. And the priests would meet together and use this street. Hence why it is called Priest Street. And we're crossing the street, and we're going to try and move a little faster for these people because they are really being nice. All right. Doyle Field. All right. You can kind of see the cemetery ended. We are pretty close to the 1 mile now. And, oh no, we haven't passed it yet. So, as I was saying, a little bit of repeat. The priest from the new St. Leo's Church and the old one, which became something else, they'd always use that street back and forth between the parishes, hence the name. And here's E.T. Duval and Sons. They are the owners of the building that used to be the original St. Leo's Church. It's in their property somewhere. That's not it. Now it really starts to go downhill because we actually hit a valley. And the building is, yeah, it's right there, that white thing. Alrighty. Let's keep going. Now this road over here that you see cars coming in and out of is Hawes Ave. This will lead you to the mall at Whitney Field from here. And now we are about to cross Route 2. This is the big road between Leominster and Boston. Alrighty. And here's Route 2. Cars heading towards us are heading to Boston. Ones heading away from us are heading towards Albany, New York. So this was the big road. In fact, it still is. The big road between Boston and Albany. And this getting two words done at once, brick building here is the Leominster Armory for the Army Reserves. And now we are approaching Gasoline Alley. This can be a bit fun because people that are in too much of a rush care more about getting out of these places than watching traffic. There's a Dunkin' Donuts. Used to be a gas station. Oh, someone forgot something. Anyway, it used to be a Mobile, then it was torn down and this Dunkin' Donuts put in its place. Now Gasoline Alley, which can be fun. Here's the Sunoco. There's the sign. The real fun is here, the Hess. They get a lot more business, and you get a lot of people here that just don't care if you're in the sidewalk or not. We are now pretty much at the lowest point in the walk, albeit far from lowest point in the city. Lowest point in the city is the river behind the mall at Whitney Field. I think it's like in the low 200s in elevation. And we started around, I think it was 400 feet. Okay, now this bridge here, it looks modern, but this bridge is from the 1780s. And there goes a commuter train. It's got a Hyundai Rotom coach on it. For those of you that are train buffs. This sidewalk is an add-on. Same thing on the opposite side. This whole bridge was built in like 1780. It's been restored and all that stuff. Here's the Nashua River. At the mall, it's at the lowest point in the entire city. And now we go up a big hill. And now we cross the street again. Now the reason we crossed over here is on that side are all the Route 2 on and off ramps. And crossing busy highway system on and off ramps are not fun. It's also quite dangerous. So it's much easier and safer just to be on this side of the street for a moment. All right. And there's the Target right there. Let's zoom in. The MBTA garage. And I'm going to hit our button here. And we will start the video up again once we get a clear, once we get the red light and a clearing. Lights are red. And we're getting the walk sign. And away we go. We're almost at our destination. We're actually doing good. It's 6:26 right now. So we passed the boat 10 minutes ago. Sometimes we get hung up with more traffic. And if everything lines up wrong, then it pretty much ruins the whole trip. There's what used to be known as the Whalen Park Bridge. It's 3 miles that way, following Main Street, which turns to Electric Ave. Went to Whalen Park, which used to be an amusement park. Year 2000 was the last year it was in operation. Safe across. And talkie, WMG. Gotta keep talking, because stupid system, content ID system, is not fair. All right, good enough. Anyway, across the Jiffy Lube, which is right there. And here we are, the MBTA station. Nice little hike. Not really that long, not really that bad. It's a little harder on the way back, because most of it was downhill to get here. It's mostly, oh, of course, as soon as I want to get in here, we gotta have traffic coming. A lot of people don't realize that this is open. I mean, it used to be 140 space parking lot, and they'd fill within 5 minutes. All right, we're here. Now it's a matter of getting to where we're going. And of course, the way we're gonna get there is the stairs. I'm not that lazy. One more set. There's the platform. It's kind of hard to see with the shadows. Light and shadow. And here we are. Platform level. And no one's here, which makes things easier. So, that is my little walking video from home, roughly, to the MBTA station here in Leominster. Just climbed these final set of stairs, and we're done. Now we just wait for trains. This view should look pretty familiar to those of you that watch them. The inbound to Boston trains come from that away, and the outbound from heading to Fitchburg comes from that way. And that's the video. George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed, and have a good one.